All right, so becoming a new mom can be both an exciting and a very scary time, but it's not always easy for moms to share the highs and the lows, right? Well, that's about to change thanks to our next guest. They are behind the new parents.com podcast called That New Mom Life, where they're having honest conversations about the real experience of becoming a mother. And boy, let me tell you, it is real. It'll get real very quickly. Joining us are those hosts, the editor-in-chief of Parents Latina, Grace Bastidas, and founder of the Perfect Mom blog, Desiree Fortin. Thanks for being here with us, both of you.
Thank you for having us on.
Absolutely. Grace, let me start with you. You are a mom of two. You recently shared your own birthing experience where you mentioned that you thought you had it all together, right? Up until you get that unexpected C-section. I'm with you on there. I mean, you're like, wait. This is not my birth plan. This is not what I wanted to happen, but you're helpless to it and you want your baby to come out alive, right? So you go through it. So help us understand how you come out on the other end.
Well, I read every single book about babies. I highlighted all the pages. I had passages saved. I was on it. And then, things don't go as planned. I had an unexpected C-section. I struggled to get the hang of breastfeeding. I was exhausted. But then they give you this tiny human to take care of, and you kind of have to keep going.
Yeah, and they're so cute. There's nothing you can do. I mean, you're just like so in love, but you're so tired, Desiree. Let's talk about that, right? Because what has motherhood been like for you? Do you think that you can ever be an expert at this? Because it seems like with every child, it's different.
It's so true. I think with every child, it is different. And I think as mothers, in some ways, we do become our own experts on this journey. However, the great thing about this podcast is that we have people who are true experts to sleep deprivation and breastfeeding. And these things really help us and remind us that we are not alone in those moments as new moms.
It's so important because you do feel sometimes like the walls are closing in. It's late at night, you haven't slept, baby's still crying, you have no idea why. So Grace, let's get back to you. Now, walk us through some of the topics that will be presented in the upcoming podcast episodes.
So we have postpartum experts talking about everything from sleep deprivation to choosing a feeding method to finding your mom tribe, adjusting to body changes. We really want the moms listening to know that they are not alone and that they're seen, understood. And we're talking about all these topics that, we don't always feel comfortable sharing as moms. And often we feel like we're the only ones going through this. So by chatting about it, we want to empower moms to really share their experiences and their struggles. So many of these experts that we interview, we always ask them, what's your best advice? And all the time they say, give yourself some grace. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. And if something does not feel right to you, chances are that it's not right.
Yeah, it's that mommy instinct.
Exactly. We want to empower moms to speak up.
Okay, Desiree, let me turn to you because on some of those topics which are difficult to talk about, infertility is one. Thankfully, though, I think with social media, we're getting into a space where it is a little more, people feel a little more comfortable talking about it, but it's still very hard. You went through this. Talk to me about that.
Yes, yeah. My husband and I struggled with infertility for years, and we ended up doing in vitro, and I got pregnant with triplets, 2 boys and a girl. And it's been quite a journey raising 3 babies at one time. And then I got a surprise miracle last year, and now I'm a mama of 4 crazy little babies. I'm in the thick of it, that's for sure.
How are you even talking to us right now? I can't even imagine what life is like at your house. Do you sleep?
I mean, I'm hiding in my garage right now.
Is that where you are, in the garage?
Yeah.
But how do you sleep?
It's in the trenches.
Yes. Yeah. This podcast is so great for me because I literally am in the thick of it. I am in the sleep deprivation, still working through breastfeeding, trying to find my mom tribe in the middle of all of this. It's been such a amazing and resourceful experience for me to be able to connect with these experts and to also remind my own self, I am not alone in this journey.
And that is so key because it does help you get to that next hurdle because there are so many of them in motherhood. Grace, let me get back to you. Why do you believe it is so important to showcase the diversity of the birthing experience?
Well, we always say, no two births are alike and no two children are alike. And because women are at their most vulnerable in this stage, I think it's important to talk about these topics and to really dig in. One of my favorite things about the podcast is that we hear from moms from all walks of life. We have a whole section where they share their stories depending on the topic that we're talking about. And it's so nice to hear that other women are going through the same things that you possibly are going through and really have that shared experience and that connectedness. And during this time of extreme isolation, especially.
Okay, before we let you go, I got to get this out of you since you've spoken to all these experts. Each one of you, best piece of advice, and don't give me anything that, be kind to yourself. I want tangible advice here.
Ooh, this is a good one. This is a really good for me, actually, I feel like I took a lot from Erica Campbell. She was our breastfeeding expert, and there was just a lot spoken about having grace for that time. And I am in the thick of breastfeeding, and it can be a really hard experience for moms, especially new moms out there. And it was just an enlightening conversation for me to have grace, seek help. It's okay if you don't want to do it.
I say use the salve. It's okay. Take a few days off if you have to and pump. That's my bit of advice on that. Quickly, Grace, one quick little thing.
So for me, we talked to Dr. Whitney Caceres, who is a pediatrician, but she's also empowering moms to not only survive, but thrive during this time. And she spoke a lot about how to stay present and do less, which I really still struggle with, and really gave us some actionable advice on how to remove all those extras that we tend to pile on ourselves as moms. So I think that was really helpful.
All right,
I'm
ladies.
still learning.
I think we all are. And you learn throughout the next, 18, 20 years when they grow up and then some. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, the New Mom Live podcast is now available on all podcast platforms.